Got guarantees. You're saying got guarantees. What is that? Remember Got Milk, the Got Milk ad? I love that. Had the milk mustache. How about the annuity mustache? Got guarantees should be the annuity industry's mantra. 2 words, because that's what they are. They're contractual guarantees. They're transfer of risk products, period. End of story. So today we're going to talk about, are fixed index annuities a good investment? If you're a living, breathing human being with a bank account, then you're probably going to get pitched an indexed annuity by somebody because it's a good story. It really is. But the reality is a little different than some of the pitches you might hear. And we're going to go through all of the indexed annuity, good and bad, the stories, the pitches you might hear, the bad chicken dinner seminar stuff. But at the end of the day, you're going to get the truth and you're going to get the facts about these products and find out if they make sense for you. And at the end, I'd love to send you my book on indexed annuities. I've written the Fixed Index Annuity Owner's Manual. It's very thin. It's about 70 pages. Good and the bad and the ugly. And anything that I forgot in this YouTube video is covered in that book. So if you can hang in there with me, I'm going to tell you how to get it for free and under no obligation to continue that annuity education and that quest you're on right now. So let's get started. Okay, fixed index annuities. Index annuities, in the past they were called equity index annuities, but they can't say equity index annuities anymore. Why? Because they are not securities. Fixed index annuities are life insurance products, and they are approved at the state level, and in order to sell them, you have to have a life insurance license to sell a fixed index annuity. Now, they were put on the planet in 1995 to compete with CD returns. So yeah, they're new to the public because they're getting pushed really heavily right now, but they've been around since 1995. I remember it because I was here. I was in the financial services business. I remember when they first came out, and they were pitched to us as a CD product, and guess what? Historically, that's kind of what they've done. So I know that's not what you hear out there. You hear market upside with no downside, market participation, all that stuff, and that's fine, but historically the returns are in the CD return level, and that's what they were designed to do, and guess what? That's what they do. Indexed annuities, and let's just call them that just to make it simple, indexed annuities are a fixed annuity, so your principal's protected, but the gain part of it, the accumulation value part of it, is attached to what's called a call option, meaning you're betting that the markets are going to go up. And typically that call option is attached to an index like the S&P 500. But what you need to know, these indices, index like the S&P 500, does not include dividends, which is a big deal because over 50% of the returns of S&P are dividend based. So in essence, you're saying, I believe from contract anniversary date to contract anniversary date with most of the contracts, it's going to go up. And if it goes up, I'm going to capture a portion of that gain. Now, you need to get the book because we could spend hours on this topic because there's ways, there's what's called caps and spreads on the limitations on the upside. You also need to know that the gains are calculated at their discretion, which I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying you just need to know that sometimes the renewal rates on these aren't as good as you might expect. And also too, it's just a high commission product as compared to some of the more simplistic annuities out there. So a lot of the newer people or people that aren't really educated about annuities as a whole, as a group, they're pushing this one product as a one-size-fits-all. It's not a one-size-fits-all at all. So are index annuities a good investment? Maybe. Let's talk about benefits and limitations of the product. Benefits to me is that the gains portion, that index option portion, it does lock in permanently. If you have a 1-year option, it locks in after the 1 year. If you have a 2-year option, when I say that, a lot of the products are different, so you can't make a carte blanche statement on this is how it works. Bottom line is the gains lock in. The other thing I think is good is the fixed annuity, so you're not going to lose any money because it's fixed. But I really like using fixed index annuities for a very efficient and low-cost delivery system for income riders, and income riders are attached benefits to a policy that you can use for future income. And with indexed annuities, income riders do work, and we do like attaching them for income later quotes. Now, limitations, I think a lot of the limitations on the indexed annuity story comes down to how they're pitched and how they're sold. I don't blame the carriers at all. The carriers are putting out the information, and if you look at their sales material, it's pretty straightforward on how they work, etc. Some of them are a little piped, but most of the problems we're running into in the industry has to do with how agents and advisors are selling indexed annuities and how they're promoting them as almost too good to be true products. They're not too good to be true products. They're CD products. You can attach an income rider, but at the end of the day, they're contracts. So it's not too good to be true. So I think the limitations really revolve around the sales pitch, which is unfortunate. I think if people understood that they're going to get CD type returns and they could attach an income rider to it for future income needs, that's fine. They should also quote deferred income annuities as well if they're looking for income later. But the other part about is an index annuity a good investment, one of the things that happens out there is a lot of index annuities have what's called an upfront bonus to sign up, and you're saying, hey, that sounds great. Just remember, there's no philanthropists at annuity companies giving money away. It's just part of the contractual guarantee. It's what I call a shiny thing, and shiny things attract people to the policy. But there shouldn't be a lot of weight placed upon that. So, just as a safety measure for you as the consumer, what I would do is, if you're getting pitched an index annuity, write down everything that agent says the way you understand it and have them sign off on it. You sign and date it, have them sign and date it. In other words, flush out the truth a little bit. You can always contact us. We can run index annuity quotes for you, send you the book, and you can understand really how they work and not buy hopes and dreams, buy the contractual reality. That's really the bottom line with index annuities. You have to be careful on what you're going to hear, because if you go to the bad chicken dinner seminar or the expensive steak dinner seminar and you hear the sales pitch, that's just all the sizzle. They really haven't told you the steak part of it, and you need to know that. Okay, so I threw a lot at you with the index annuity stuff. Now, I've done another video here. It's called How Fixed Index Annuities Work, where I kind of went deeper into the index call options and those type of things. So I would encourage you to take a look at that one as well. You shouldn't buy an indexed annuity unless you read this book. And I'm not saying I'm, the John Grisham of annuity writers, but I am. Actually, I am. Well, I guess not, because he's like a fictional writer. This is the truth. I mean, it explains how all of it works. I get in the weeds. You'll know how the annuity sausage is made. So I encourage you to get that, and let me tell you how to do that. After you click the subscribe button, which is your first step, step 2 is you go to the more info button underneath me. Click that, there'll be a drop down. You'll see all kinds of stuff. Look for the one that has a link to the books. It'll take you to a page where you can fill in your shipping information, and we can ship you those books in about 7 to 10 days. You'll get this book. In fact, we might ship you the other ones. I'm not sure what we're doing now. We might be shipping all the owner's manuals, but at least you'll get this one. And then if you want an indexed annuity quote, you can contact us at stantheannuityman.com for everything annuity. I am licensed in all 50 states. See you next time.